Hi, my name is Jorge Cires, and I am going to talk about a survey of news and forms of communication. First, the teacher asked English 3 students when they last have read a newspaper, and as a result, we have that 19% of the students say that they have read a newspaper the day before. Next, we have that 6% of the students say that they have read a newspaper the day before the previous day. And later, we have that 23% of the students say that they have read a newspaper the week before. And later, we have that 40% of the students say that they had read a newspaper the month before. And finally, 12% of the students say that they had read a newspaper in another time. In conclusion, I think that the most of the people don't read the newspaper because they have now their smartphones and they can search information so easy and quickly, and they don't need to read a newspaper. Maybe it's not necessary, and I think that it's for this. And for the second question, we have where they receive the news. 16% of the students say that they receive the news from the TV. And next, we have that 4% of the students say that they receive news from their tablets. And later, we have that 14% of the students say that they receive their information from their computers. And later, we have that 66% of these students say that they receive the news from their smartphones. And finally, 0% of the students say that they receive the news from the radio. In conclusion, I think that the students prefer smartphones for read the news because they are from other time and they have the technology for search information so easy and don't have to read from the newspaper because it is not so important or no, not now. For the third question about news online, we have that 40% of the students say that they have read the news online every day. Next, we have that 31% of the students say that they have read the news online twice a week. And later we have that 22% of the students say that they read news online 3 or 4 times a week. And finally, 7% of the students say that they never read news online. And in conclusion, I think that the people now is more informated from their cell phones, but it's not so interesting about the things that pass in their countries, and maybe they have other things to do. Maybe it's not so important for these persons. For the fourth question, we have about news before COVID-19. For the students, 24% of the students say that they had read news before COVID-19 every day. Later, we have that 42% of the students say that they read news before COVID-19 twice a week. Next, we have that 24% of the students say that they have read news before COVID-19 3 or 4 times a week. And finally, we have 10% of the students say that they had read news before COVID-19 never. In conclusion, I think that before COVID-19, the people need to inform more than right now, or maybe now is better than after, but I don't know so about this question. And for the 5th question about communication in the future, we have that 7% of the students think that they would communication face-to-face in the future. And next, we have that 35% of the students think that they communication in the future from their cell phones. And next, we have that 22% of the students think that they would communication in the future from computers or tablets. And 11% of the students think that they would communication in the future from telepathy. And it's so crazy. And finally, 25% of the students think that they would communication in the future other new way. And I think that the future is something stranger, and I don't think that telepathy is an option. Maybe the cell phone is the thing that I do, but and the other persons say the same. So I think that we continue with the cell phone for this time. And for the final conclusion, I think that the news changed for this year because the people have new opportunities and have more information from their cell phones, because before COVID-19 the people can buy a cell phone and have more the technology. And I think that for this reason the people prefer read the news in their cell phones or tablets and not in newspaper. Thank you.
Me estás insultando.
Estaba calculando.
¿Qué estás ahí?